You are listening to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss our RC adventures.
Welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast, where we discuss the ups and downs of the new RC Flyer. Join your hosts, Michael and Jay, as they take flight at the park. Now on with the show.
Welcome to the Park Flyer Podcast. I'm Michael from Arizona. With me always are my good friends,
Jay from the hills of Texas.
Shannon G and Mesa AZ.
and we are at the Arizona Electric Festival still. It is the last day. We've already kind of closed out the show, but this is our free fly. And we are joined today by Sean Lang. He has a YouTube channel, redbeardreviewsrc.com, I believe is what it is, right?
Redbeard Reviews RC on YouTube.
RC. Oh, yeah, there you go. See,
I forgot the little.
I know, right?
Thing,
It is. I'm so used to doing things online. It's crazy. So, anyway, Sean has been out here all weekend, and is this your first
This is my first time to Arizona.
first time to Arizona? So
Welcome.
welcome to
Appreciate
the
that.
excellent. And what'd you think of the electric festival?
It was really good. It
Yeah?
was really good. There
Yeah.
was quite a different array of planes, and nice to see the youth out here too. That's
Yeah,
really
this
cool.
we've
is
been
the
missing
biggest
it.
youth
Yeah.
that we've seen out here in a long,
Yeah,
long
that's
time.
really cool.
It's been a kind of a on and off for us. Some years we have a lot of youth, and some years we don't have any. So it's been really good for us. So we enjoyed it. Matter of fact, I gave T-shirts to everybody. So all the
cool.
kids that flew, I gave
Yeah,
them
that's
T-shirts.
cool.
So. Well, so kind of walk us through a little bit. How'd you get into RC, and give us a little background.
So for my 30th birthday, my wife asked me what I wanted, and I said something that I could do with my grandfather because he's aging, and
Right.
I wanted something we could do together and spend time together. And when I was a little kid, he would look up in the air and say, "Oh, that sounds like a Pitts, or that sounds like a Stearman, or that sounds like a Cub."
Right.
And he'd look up, and sure enough, there'd be a Cub flying by, or a Stearman, or whatever it was. And so he was a B-29 mechanic in 46, and during the later part of the war there, and went to Okinawa. So he got to spend some time around the 47s and the 51s and all that cool stuff. And it just always got in my blood. When I was
Sure.
a little kid, he'd show me, "Hey, this is the Corsair, or this is that." And I just kind of got hooked, and so it's always been in my blood. And whenever he said, whenever she asked, I thought, that would be perfect. Why don't you just give me an RC plane?
Right.
So it was an Easy Star.
Okay.
Yeah,
Very nice.
Rocking the Easy Star was my
Yeah.
first one, and learned in Los Lunas, New Mexico, with the Sub Club Flyers.
No kidding.
Yep, shout out to the Sub Club Flyers.
There you go.
And so yeah, they helped me get my wings, so to speak. And my granddad, as we progressed in scale and stuff, my granddad clipped the wings on my Easy Star, cut some ailerons in for me.
Yeah, there you
so
go.
souped up the motor. Got a brushless motor
There
on
you
it.
go.
Yeah,
That's it.
back when they
More
were
power.
More
yeah,
power.
Exactly.
More power.
Exactly. So got that Easy Star screaming, and we modified some glider wings. He put I don't know. I still don't know how he did it, but I think he bought 2 pair of Easy Star wings and just cut the middle section out and extended it out.
That's nice.
Yeah. So we had a big glider Easy Star wing set. We had
that's cool.
the regular one that I kind of taught him on,
Mm-hmm.
and then the aileron chopped wing set. So just kind of got hooked from
That's
there.
cool. That is awesome.
And,
And is he still with us?
he is actually.
Oh,
He
good.
is
So
actually.
that's
Hi,
excellent.
Grandpa. Love you. Love you.
He's hanging out on the YouTube
Yep,
channel.
I give him a debrief every time I fly.
That is awesome. Well, that sounds like it's kind of been in the family for a while, and it's good to have a resource like that.
It
that
really
can kind
is.
of do
It really is.
some
And
of
it's, as they say, good, clean fun, right, for the
that. Yeah,
family.
that
So
is true.
lasting
That's true.
memories that you'll never forget.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Very,
Good
very
time.
interesting.
Good
Yeah.
time.
So where did you go from there? You obviously the Easy Star. What happened next?
right, the Easy Star. From then I got a Q47, the old E-Flight popcorn foam one.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah. I had one of them.
Yeah.
That didn't go too well.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, that didn't go well. And,
Doesn't quite fly like the Easy Star.
no, not like an Easy Star. I really, to this day, I'm still not sure what happened to that one. But the we graduated from there to the E-Flight Park Zone course there before
Right.
they were the E-Flights.
Right.
And so that I still have that to this day hanging on
Wow.
my hangar wall. So
That's cool.
yeah, and he of course made me a clipped wing set for those because we were doing some pylon racing back in the day with those,
Yeah.
and it was Corsairs, Trojans, or P-51s, whatever you wanted, and as long as you didn't modify the engine setup, you could do whatever you wanted to the airframe.
Oh,
So we
nice.
clipped it, put some fences on it. And
Yeah.
we were gonna run that in the.
Wow, that's quite the test pilot. You
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of do some stuff and kind of modify the airframes.
Yeah, my
That's-
granddad was like a skunk works at his
Yeah.
house.
Skunk Twix RC. Maybe that's a whole new
There you go.
YouTube
Right,
channel.
right? That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be kind of
Probably
cool.
copyrighted.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
so. You never know. Let's look it up and see. That'd be kind of neat. So what do you normally fly, or what is it that you normally kind of mostly EDFs or just type?
A few years ago, I got inspired through watching the channels, and I realized that, no offense to the people out there who are sponsored or who get things
Mhm.
sent to them,
Right.
but a lot of them kind of are a little biased,
Right.
and I didn't find anybody that was out there, saying, hey, this is what to watch out for, or maybe this is a little underpowered, or I fly at an altitude of around 5,000
Right.
feet,
Right.
so
Right.
sometimes everything that you see on the videos in California or wherever they do the videos, more like sea level, and it doesn't fly at all sometimes when you take it to Albuquerque.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
So we try to just tell the truth about what we find and our experience and what we're dealing with. It's never biased. I don't try to bring like, oh, I don't hate this company or that company. I just kind of was looking for somebody who was like, hey, yeah, they sent me this, but this is not cool. You know,
Right,
this
right.
retract or this, that.
Right.
A lot of times people just breeze over that. Say, oh, yeah, this is great. Go buy it. You know? And so I wanted to try to start something that was a little more homegrown and a little more review based, and I've kind of gotten a little bit away from the reviews just because of work. I work in a weird industry that gives me 3 months off at a time, and then I'll go back and work 60 hours a week for months at a time. So,
Sure.
so I kind of dance around that, but I try to keep things coming, and long-term reviews. I got a B2 long-term review coming out, because I've been flying that for
Alright.
coming up on a couple of years now.
Who makes the B2?
Free wing,
Oh, okay. It's a premium B2.
love that thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've had a few.
There's
a
a few of them here. Yeah.
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 As we say, we mainly like free wing, motion RC type style
Yeah.
planes.
Yeah,
with-
they do
we-
well.
For the
Yeah.
most part, they do very, very well.
They're coming out. They're stepping up a lot. I gotta say, their Eurofighter is phenomenal. The new plug, the wing system, they have easy clips that they have on the B-25, really nice. The Eurofighters, the scale light sequence that they have on there, it really sets that thing off. Man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And the gear doors, the air jam, it's just on point. And so the foam, the way they're covering it now, instead of the little cells that you see in there,
Right.
you got the free wings really come up. Yep.
Yeah, one of the things when we did the Avanti, kind of talked about the Avanti review for the V2, we realized that what causes the popcorn is that it's unpainted, right? They
Yep.
leave it white,
Yep.
and the heat makes it pop.
Yep.
And on the Avanti, they painted everything with this what I would call shark gray, which is not white but just barely off white, and it's enough to keep it from just popcorning in there. So
Very cool.
you can see that
See,
they've their hobby squawk is what they use, and those guys we know some of the motion RC guys, and we that 810 behind you is one of the first ones, so we've kind of gone back with them, but they do listen to their audience, and,
That's really
and
cool.
guys have complained about it, and then they've kind of figured it out. So
Yep.
it's always nice
Much-
when a manufacturer does
Much
that.
appreciated, yes,
Yeah.
for sure.
So do you have a favorite airplane at all, or?
Right now, kind of, I'm sticking with the 80 mil F-16. I've got that tricked out with an afterburner and a custom paint job. That
Nice.
my friend had passed away, and he destroyed the fuselage on his, but the wings, the tail, and the elevators were perfect.
Yeah.
So I took the yellow wings, tail, elevator, and vertical stab stick them on the gray.
Oh, very nice.
Comes out really nice.
Comes out nice.
Yeah.
So it's got
So-
a little custom paint job
Yeah,
kind of thing. right?
exactly.
Well, I may know of a Viper set of wings tail that. No, I'm just kidding.
Uh-oh. A little
Jay,
rub,
oh,
little
yeah.
rub.
Man, you
I
crashed
heard.
one plane.
I heard,
Way to go
right?
there,
Next
Mike.
thing, gee whiz, you end up on a calendar or
I
something.
know, right? He is. He's gonna be the calendar guy.
End up on a
That's funny.
podcast.
I
yeah,
tell you.
exactly.
This
Exactly.
is a rough crowd, folks.
is.
I'm telling you.
I know,
It
right?
is. That's
a
all
rough
right.
crowd.
We saw plenty out here this weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we did.
The Horizon guys smashed a couple things.
Yeah, they did.
It's all right when the pros.
Yeah,
crash.
yeah. They just walk over to the van
Oh,
and just
yeah,
pull out
just pull
another
out
one.
one, yeah.
They got a
That'd be
whole
nice.
like
True.
peanuts or something.
Wouldn't
It's,
that be nice?
you know.
So, what was the first RC airplane you reviewed?
The first one I reviewed, I believe, was the Cessna, the 2.1 meter Cessna. I love that plane.
And who was that by? Who?
The E-Flight.
The E-Flight.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
It's
very
a-
cool.
That's a great flyer. I got the tail dragging version.
Did you?
Yeah, there's not a lot of. Well, back in the day before FRIA,
Uh-huh.
right? We could kind of go
Anyway.
Do what we
Out-
want. Be
yeah,
Americans.
exactly.
Yeah, I remember those
out,
days.
out in the bush. There was a lot of territory in New Mexico where you could just go kind of where you wanted. And I did a video where
We've been a
flew-
few of those places.
Yeah, I love those places. And they're challenging to fly in sometimes.
Yeah.
But you can get some spectacular footage. I have a video on my channel where I flew in the Taos Gorge.
Oh, no
Oh,
kidding.
nice.
Yeah, and so my buddy had an Inspire, and he was up there hovering his Inspire, and I was doing stuff around him. And there's this crazy road that's off the side of a cliff, and it's not even a road anymore because it collapsed. They had a cave in,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's kind of just like a dirt path now for walking. And I landed my Cessna on the side of that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So,
That is cool. That makes for some good footage.
Mhm.
Though,
yeah, it did. And
Yeah.
so we had a lot of fun doing that kind of thing back in the day. But I bought it to kind of be a bush plane, but now it's kind of been relegated to the asphalt. So I'm thinking about buying the tricycle setup for it.
Oh, there you go.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot better handling on the asphalt.
That's true. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, tail draggers are better for off airport dirt, that kind of
Yeah,
thing. so,
exactly.
yeah.
And I really like the Focke-Wulf 192, the E-Flight.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've got my buddy. I had a pretty funny. I googled camo for my Focke-Wulf. You know, I was kind of no offense, E-Flight, sorry, but I didn't dig polka dots.
Yeah.
on them.
Yeah.
So I was looking through it, and I actually found someone that was a pilot that I loved the paint scheme, and then I realized that the pilot who flew it had my last name.
Oh, no kidding.
Umril Lang.
Yeah.
And he had 190 kills or something like that, and then so it was a Russian. I think it was, they said Eastern Front camo. So
Okay. Yep.
I had
yep.
my buddy do some stuff, and then Callie.
Oh yeah,
Graphics,
from Cali Graphics.
yeah.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Apparently
Awesome.
she's just down the road from us. in
Oh, that's
Monterey,
right. Yeah.
so-
You're right.
So
That's
she,
forgot. She's down that way.
yeah, so she made me up a set of beautiful graphics for my E-Flight 190, and I think that might have been actually the first plane that got on the channel that I reviewed.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, that's the fun part about this hobby is that you can buy a kit, and if the kit's not what you want, you can throw some primer on the paint and
It's one of my favorite things to do.
make it yours.
Yeah.
you know?
Anybody who's seen my channel knows I modify basically every plane I get.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, we might have done that once or
It's
twice.
nice when everybody, can fly their Thunderbird together, and it looks like you go
Yeah,
power
sure.
the Thunderbirds. I got a couple
Sure.
videos on my channel where some of the locals, hey guys, good to see you guys. Shout out to you guys. They get together and they do pretty neat. They have a routine. where
Uh-huh.
They'll do, and they get 4 or 5. Sometimes they get a screen full of Thunderbirds, man.
Yeah, it's cool.
Whole
Nice.
screen full,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
4 or 5. And they do all the same pattern, and and then they do a crossing where a guy will go off and do an invert, and they do
that's
crossing
cool,
in front
yeah.
of us. So
Inverted pass.
yeah, so it's cool, and the other guys do are regular flying,
Right.
regular, so they invert pass and cross, and that looks really neat. So I can appreciate the fact that everybody's got that same paint scheme, but as far as everybody bringing the same thing and putting it out here,
Yeah,
I
kinda
kind of.
Hey, what was the year? Was out here at this event, and everybody brought out an erratics
Oh yeah.
And everybody's
yeah.
flying, and it was
Yeah.
a
like
disaster.
the
That was a
plane,
bad
yeah.
idea.
It was disaster.
It was a disaster because the Radix were smashing and flying out.
Oh,
Everybody's like,
man.
"Which one's my plane?"
Right.
Oh, it was horrible.
Yeah.
Well, and it, getting airborne and flying around in a pattern is not that big of a deal because you're constantly moving,
For
so
sure.
you can kind of watch your airplane go by.
Right.
And you're straight and level, so if it's not responding, you're like, oh, well, that's not
That's
mine.
not mine,
But
right.
in that particular time he was talking about, they're all 3D airplanes. So
Oh.
everybody flew out, and then
Right.
they all came in over the dirt, and then they all went into a hover.
Right.
And now you have, like, everybody passing, and
That's funny.
you have no idea which
Yeah.
one's which, and next thing you're bumping in, and the guy's like, hey, and it was just like raining erratic.
Wow, that's not
There were
good.
probably 6 or 8 of them
Yeah.
in the air, and
Yeah.
and I think 2 guys survived.
Oh,
it was
wow.
it was brutal.
Yeah.
That is
And
hardcore.
and then
For
right
sure.
after that, the last guy was hovering over the runway, which he shouldn't have been.
Right.
And there was a
you
airplane the
see
size of my Cessna.
Oh,
that
yeah.
Went through. It actually, I'm sorry, it wasn't a Cessna. It was a GB.
Yeah.
He had a GB the size of my Cessna.
12-footer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he came through, and the erratics turned sideways, and he went right through
It
the middle
was
of
it was balsa dust.
I mean, just right through the middle of it. And it tore the GB up. The guy
It
was
did?
not happy.
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet. That's
And it was a huge,
Yep.
huge airplane. So, yeah, I get, it does bring up the fact that, if you're going to fly in a crowd or a gaggle or whatever, all of their same airplanes, he's had that problem with the wings.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
both orange. So we'll go fly him, and he'll go, whoa. And I just did it, actually. I was like, we were up really close, and we were
saw
kind
that. That was
of
really
tangling,
neat.
and all of a sudden I was like, hey, why is it oh, that's me coming down.
Good
I was
thing
like,
you got
oh,
it.
watching the wrong one, and
Yeah.
I recovered it. So so it's not so bad when it's up high, but down low it's kind of crappy.
So Sean, I gotta ask. I just gotta know. So how long after you got into flying RC and getting into the hobby did your magnificent red beard start to grow?
that is actually quite a long time after the hobby.
Oh, no
I used
kidding.
to have a goatee, and then when I went to my job that I started, I worked in the film industry, and I kind of just went burly.
Let it grow.
Yeah. And now it's kind of, I put my shirt on a few months back, and my beard had to come out. I didn't pull it out yet. My wife said, "Did you cut your beard?" no, I just haven't pulled it out. So,
Well,
So
being
it's a
formerly
family
from Alaska,
favorite, too.
I appreciate any man who can have a gorgeous beard like
I
that.
appreciate
Yeah.
it.
You know,
I
so-
appreciate it.
That is funny.
I haven't cut it. Probably going on about 9 years now.
Really,
Gotcha.
9 years, huh?
Get
Huh.
up, go to work.
Unfortunately for me, I could probably catch you in about 6 months. So
Oh.
it's like I have
That's
those
awesome.
genes.
That's a gift. That's a
It may
Sasquatch-
be a gift, but it's
Sasquatch genes are a gift.
well, my wife may say my wife may disagree with you. You're like, take your sweater off. I'm like, I'm not wearing any.
Walked into that.
I know, right?
But
Oh, that's hilarious. So, tell me a little bit about the YouTube. What got you into the actual reviewing the channel, or how did you get started in the?
Like I
YouTube
said,
game?
mostly just watching YouTube and finding a lack of. I'm not gonna say honesty. I'm sure that they're enjoying flying the planes that they're flown, but I just didn't find anybody being, adverse to anything.
Right.
Everything that everybody said they had was great. And you should go buy one. So I was like, there's got to be. I've flown some things that I was like, no, this is not great.
Yeah. Do you think that was because of where you are compared to where they are, or do you think it's just because somebody sent them something and they're afraid that if they say anything negative, then they cut that off? Is that kind of what it is?
That's a good question. You'd have to be a company with a lot of integrity and I mean a lot of faith in your product to send anything out to anybody in the first place, right? To review, because you never know what they're going to say. You never know. But at the same time, I feel like they may. You're probably not going to get something back again if you say that what they sent you the first time is not worth the money that they're asking for their product.
Right.
And maybe it's not garbage, but a lot of times it's not garbage. But I feel like Horizon offers products that are almost, you don't even have to, I don't worry in the back of my mind, I hope my servos aren't going to fail.
Right.
I don't
Or fall
worry-
out.
Or fall
whatever. Right, any of that. And I just
Or
don't.
connected in any way.
And it's so nice.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I get, maybe we're spoiled, but I find that accountability is huge. and that they are accountable.
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you buy
yeah.
their products, they work, and they work. Like I said, I still have my Park Zone Corsair. I still
Right,
have my Park Zone P47. I just flew my Park Zone 109 on my YouTube channel not that long ago. So I can still go fly any one of them.
Yeah.
15 years after I bought it.
Right.
And I don't think that a motion product, as far as what I've consumed so far, would be that reliable, or is that reliable.
Yeah.
And so for the money that they're asking, I was kind of just like, that's a lot of money. The B2, I've had really good luck with. I will say, and I haven't put it on the channel yet, and it's kind of a secret, sad secret, tear rolling down. My first B2 is not flying anymore.
Oh, okay.
And all I did was I used their programmer to try to go in, and I took 5 points off of the gain. If anybody can tell me what the heck's going on or knows anything more about this, I took 5 points off the gain of the aileron. I'm sorry, Elevon, and now it won't go off the ground.
It won't rotate off the ground, or
It
it
won't-
just
it
goes
won't.
straight.
It won't rotate. I've had full up deflection, and I went way longer than it should have taken to get off the ground in past instances, and I had a boo-boo, so I repainted it camo, of course.
Yeah, sure. That way you can't see it. It's hard enough that it's stealth, but now it's camo.
Right. Well, it's
It's probably desert camo. That's what I do, right? I live in
Yep.
Arizona. I paint it all desert
Yep.
brown.
Yep.
It goes out there, and I go,
I
oh,
can't
well.
see it.
I was just doing that a while ago because the hills are nice and green out here.
Yep.
We've gotten a lot of rain, so
Yeah, that's right.
my desert camo is blending in really well over here with the green too. So, but yeah, I lost the B2, and that was a sad day.
Yeah.
And so
That's never a good thing.
that's
so-
$700,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
as it came.
Right.
So when they're asking that much money for stuff, it's hard to just or when they're like, oh yeah, here's this MiG-29 for 600 or well, I'm not sure what they're asking for it these days, but the free wing MiG-29, and there's all kinds of problems with it. It's known, it's been well documented, and a lot of people have had issues with it. Apparently, the servo leads that go to the back are carrying way too much, way too far.
Yeah.
And so my friend has put, I believe it's 2 degrees of down or 2 degrees of up. Don't quote me on it. One of the two. So that his flies, and I mean, you're paying that much money and you're having to go home and modify it so that
Yeah.
it flies like you want it to.
Right.
Nothing that Horizon has, you have to go home and modify. Nothing.
Yeah.
You don't have to change it. You don't have to. And so that's kind of what I hold everything to as far as accountability. Like, is it as nice as a Horizon product, and are they asking a similar price?
Right.
That's kind of basically my basis on things. 'Cause
Sure.
That's what we're accustomed to.
Yeah, well, we're spending our hard-earned money on this stuff, and
Exactly.
it's not all of us have a
Unlimited.
steady, unlimited funds for RC. It's like
Wait,
all your money in
You
that.
guys don't have that?
That's why we hang out with you.
That's
Oh,
right.
Well, I don't know. That tree in the backyard that just produces money. I thought everybody had one of
Oh
those.
yeah, no, that one died a long time ago in my yard.
I overwatered it.
That's what I was gonna say. I think mine dried up in the desert.
That's right.
Yeah.
No, I don't have one either. Don't listen to these guys. It's like, we're all. I'm supported actually by. I'm sponsored by Visa, Mastercard, and my wife's job. So that's
Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
There you go.
Awesome wife.
we used to have that on the podcast where she would say that. She'd say,
Really?
yeah, she'd used to. We had an ending and it would say, "These morons are sponsored by Visa, Mastercard, and me." Right? Visa, Mastercard, and American Express. Anyway, so actually somebody came to us one time and said, "Hey, how did you get sponsorships from those guys?" And we looked at it and went, "It's right here." And I pulled it out of my pocket, and he goes, "Oh, the light bulb just came on."
Roger that.
You're buying your own. I was like,
That's
"Yeah, we're not
right.
sponsored by
By anybody.
Very cool.
Sponsored by my bank account. That's what it is."
So I got a question for you.
Absolutely.
This is your first AEF, right?
Yes, it is.
And what's your review of it?
Well, there you go.
That's I would have.
Of course,
to
you're
say,
now you're going to steal his because he just did a
gonna come
review.
back next year.
I
Well, there you go.
appreciate
Okay,
that.
there you
go.
go.
That's what I
That's a
like
good
to hear.
answer,
Yeah.
even if you
So,
don't. That's a
yeah,
good
right.
answer.
Well,
For
you're
now,
welcome back.
anyway.
Whether you liked it or not, you're welcome back. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Shit, I'm glad I'm welcome back. That's
And,
shocking. That's kind of shocking.
And I actually have seen you videotaping everything I hear. Are you doing something for the Electra or something?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, not not for them, just for my channel.
Well, I know, but I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
saying something on
Yes,
the
sir.
Arizona.
Yes, sir, definitely. I'll definitely have a video out, kind of like a at the field type of thing.
Very
with
cool.
that really giant 130 millimeter that was out here.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Got some good footage of that.
Yeah.
I actually got the footage and stuff with ESP printed, 3D printed.
Yeah.
Oh, you got okay.
got
Like I
footage
was
of
out there.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah, you could hear it.
Yeah, you heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Same with
standing
us. We were
right
like
there.
going, huh?
Yeah.
I told him that didn't sound good. He goes, "No, that was okay."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really? That was okay.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh no, that was all right." And I was like, "Yeah, something,
No.
something."
Yeah,
doesn't
we
sound
were
right."
standing a bay up from you guys, and
Yeah.
Mike was with me, and he goes, did he just suck something up like a rock? And I go,
Yeah,
that didn't.
exactly.
It didn't quite sound like a rock, but I said, we'll find out when he goes. He makes his right hand turn.
And
Whether yeah, and he's going, balls to the wall,
Yeah.
having floored, and it ain't going nowhere.
Right.
And he turned, he had plenty of power. And we're
Yeah,
like,
he was
okay.
really lucky actually because it was the ESC clamp
Yeah.
mount,
Yeah.
you know,
He 3D
and
printed
he had 3D
it.
printed it,
Yeah.
and it had come up and it hit the blade and shattered.
Yeah.
And so all those pieces were rolling around in there, which the PLA didn't really do. If it would have been metal or something, it would have just stripped the blades going through.
Probably.
But I mean, that's one of those Shibli or whatever.
Yeah.
Shibler. They're one of
They're all
those
carbon-
big.
they're all
yeah,
carbon
they're all
fiber.
carbon fiber,
Yep.
and they're very thick. They're like 3 mils. So when we took it, I helped him. So when I went over there, I was like, "Yeah, I think something went through there." And he goes, "No, I don't think so." And so I rubbed all his blades, and I was like, "Yep, you got two
You can
right
see
here.
'em. Yep.
They're big chunks taken
Yep.
out of it." And he's like, "Oh my gosh!" So he picked up the mount, and he realized that it was gone. But
Yep.
he lucked out because he still had all the blades producing power.
Yep.
Exactly.
But even though it was a little unbalanced, then but he got back around. So
Yep.
he lucked out because that's the Odyssey, and very expensive. That's
I
a
could tell.
turbine. That's a turbine
Right.
that he converted to EDF.
Yeah.
So,
I
yeah.
thought that was the biggest EDF I've ever seen. I was like, is that a 120 in there?
Yeah.
130.
130.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah,
Nice.
It is pretty big.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah, he wasn't real happy about the mount coming apart because he's like, "Wow, that's going to be an expensive fan." I was like, "Yeah." I told him, I was like, "You might be able to sand some of it off and just fly it the way it is if you dynamic balance it,
Right.
But
That'd be hard to
he
do.
kind of stood there like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, put it on a spindle and the lowest
Yeah,
blade.
hardcore,
You
yeah.
can, there's ways to do it,
Yeah.
if you want to kind of milk it. But I don't know. It's a very expensive kit.
For sure.
Just throwing it in the air on a whim, was like, but he flew it again.
Yeah, he did.
He came back and
Flew
flew it.
great.
So.
He was ripping it the second
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, he was ripping around. He was kind of more comfortable with it, I think.
Yeah,
First
for
time. The
sure.
first time was a maiden actually.
Right. It
So,
was.
Yep.
but he did a good job, and it looked great in the air. And
Flying on
yeah.
16 amps.
I know, right? Isn't that
Wow,
crazy?
That's power right there.
Yeah, that's almost a 12-volt battery out of
Yep.
your car. I've seen some of those. Some guys that had some pretty big, EDFs that were working on almost a 12-volt battery. I was like, dang, dude. So that's kind of crazy.
He was pretty much flying the Bronco off of one 12-volt.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Bronco that was in
Oh,
here, that
yeah.
thing's. I've actually flown that, and it's unbelievable.
Dude, it looks super
Oh
stable.
my
Looks
gosh,
like it's
it's
put
just
together.
it is.
Yeah.
Now the only thing that it doesn't do is it's not a fast roller,
Okay,
right?
yeah.
So it rolls a little bit slower.
It has some altitude.
You have to have a little bit of altitude because the nose does drop, or you have to be familiar enough to be
Yeah,
low to the ground.
up elevator.
But yeah, so it's got nice coupling to it. It does a really good job. Ali and I flew it a year or two ago, I guess, when it first came out. So he let me go out and demo it. And then the little crescendos I demoed this year too.
Oh,
We're
okay,
talking about
cool.
that on a podcast.
Are they fun?
They are very, very
Yeah,
fun.
they
Yeah,
did.
it's worth it. Yeah, if you were interested in doing one of those, on your channel, I definitely would suggest.
Yeah, they're
it
not
'cause
bad. I think they're only
not bad.
160 something.
$160,
And the 3S, right?
and they're
Mhm.
3S.
3S,
and,
I
they're
think 300.
Incredibly fast, incredibly slow, which is weird to say in the
Yeah,
same
that's a
statement.
great flight
but
envelope. for
Yeah,
sure.
it's really good. You could just hover it, a little bit punch out of it, and then you can just do these incredible, crazy things.
They were doing pretty crazy
Yeah.
stuff. with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
The funny part is, I got a chance to fly the bigger version of
Yeah,
that glider, and it's kind of, I'm like, watch that, and I go, wow, that looks like a lot of fun. And I'm like, yeah, we weren't able to do that with the bigger version at
No,
all.
really?
It was- yeah,
No,
yeah. No.
The bigger version is a little more draggy than these things. These are really thin
Yeah.
wings, and
It was an okay glider, but it wasn't as exciting as these were. I mean,
No,
those things were getting up and going, and
Yeah, they were kind of cool.
Is it UMX foam?
It is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it just comes in a box.
Really tiny foam,
Yep,
though.
yep.
Yeah.
Really tiny. So. Well, we have really enjoyed having you on our channel as well, and we
Nice
hope
hanging
to cross pollinate, maybe see some of your viewers over. If you haven't, we're the Park Flyer Podcast. We do it every 2 weeks. Comes out an episode. It's just basically us talking about projects or events or whatever, and so we haven't really gotten into the reviewing section of it.
not too much.
Just because we're in 3 different locations. If we were all in the same location to build, that would be one thing.
For sure.
And we all have different skill levels, I mean, we just because I fly everything up to turbines, and then he's on grass, and he does some other stuff. But you fly EDFs.
EDFs mainly.
Mainly.
Yeah. Scale.
So, but he does like competition for Top Gun and that kind of thing too. Cool. So yeah, if your listeners or you have subscribers and they want to kind of cross pollinate, we'd love to have that.
Definitely.
And then we'd love to keep in touch with you to see kind of review your channel and look at it, and maybe send some guys your way as well.
That'd be great. I appreciate that.
But so tell everybody where they can go to find you, and then how often your reviews come out, and all that kind of good stuff.
So basically, once a month at least, I try to do a full review of a plane.
Okay.
It's on Red Beard Reviews RC on YouTube.
Okay.
I have an Instagram, Red Beard Reviews.
Very good. Well, there you have it.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you having on here.
Nice hanging out with you
coming
guys.
out.
Yeah, it's good. We appreciate you coming out.
Yeah.
Hope to see you again at the next year's Electric Festival. It'd be kind of fun.
Absolutely. Or maybe you guys have events in Dallas that you go to, or?
Not in Dallas.
Not in Dallas. Yeah, some on the East Coast, but we might have 1 or 2 coming up down near Austin area.
Yeah,
Cool. Maybe I'll see you down there.
Yeah, it's
Alright.
kind of cool.
Down there.
The one on the East Coast is the Doug
Leroy.
Leroy. He's got a his club put on one.
Where's that?
It's in North Carolina.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool. I was thinking about when.
Usually
Is it May?
no, it's
No.
in the fall.
Okay, I was thinking about cruising down September down to
Yeah, I think it's about
Georgia.
when it's
And
We can
Florida.
we can get the dates from Doug.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
and see. But,
We'll hook
keep
you
in
up.
touch
yeah,
for
we'll
sure.
hook you up for that. That's
Nice.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a great group.
Yeah,
of
they're
guys
a great
down
group
there.
of guys. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, so we love working with Doug, and we surprised him one year, and all of us showed up. So that was pretty fun.
What kind of-
And
what
he
kind of
came here
flying?
too.
Oh, that's right. He did come here too. He surprised us. He
What
came
kind of flying does he do?
They do.
Electric?
Yeah, they do mostly electric.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they have a really nice field, and they work really well with the city, and the city loves them, and they do an event every year, and they kind of get the city involved,
Very
and then
cool.
they get spectators and
Yep.
stuff. So it worked
Awesome.
out good. And he's now a gold. What is a gold club, right?
Gold Leader Club.
Gold
yeah.
Leader Club. So he went from the small little group all the way to this Gold Leader Club, and he's a really good guy.
Very
I
cool.
really like him. He's a listener too. So Doug, shout out to you.
Right on.
Well, we appreciate you joining us here on the Park Flyer Podcast. We hope to see you again in 2 weeks from Arizona. I am Michael.
And I'm Jay from the hills of Texas.
Shannon G at home in Mesa.
Let's fly.
You have been listening to the Park Flyer Podcast. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to your next visit. Please give our show a star rating and review, and feel free to email us your questions, topics, or suggestions to parkflyerpodcast@gmail.com.